No way! What? Wow! I'm so excited to try this one.
It's a strong team
Yes,
right here.
yes.
We can tell
Yes.
their preseason matches have gone very well.
Beautiful.
That's good.
That wine is fantastic. I have to say, this is the best smelling wine.
Oh, I thought we were downing it all.
That is such a difficult final match for two wines. This is incredibly difficult.
Two incredible contenders here.
It's gonna be a tough call.
These are so good.
These are both amazing, dude.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of Matthew's Wine Lab. Over the last month, I've really enjoyed watching all the World Cup games. To celebrate the conclusion of this great tournament, I have one wine from each of the semifinalist countries. Without further ado, let's get this party started. To help me celebrate, I have two distinguished judges with me, our returning guest Zack, and a new face to the show, Abraham. Thank you both so much for being here.
Excited to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, Abraham, because it's your first time on the show, would love to hear about your experience level with wine.
Thank you, Matthew. I have participated in the wine taste that you have so generously hosted before. So I will say I am a beginner to medium expertise in the game of wine.
Of course. And with that experience level, do you have any particular styles of wine that you tend to gravitate towards?
Yes, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I really enjoy dessert wines. I just really like a very sweet wine, and of course, Cabernet.
Of course. And at this table, we're no strangers to dessert wine. We love a good port, anything like that. So thank you so much for joining us, and let's bring in the first wine. For our first semifinal match, we have England versus Argentina. Now, one of these has a more distinguished wine culture than the other, but we have a sparkling wine from England and a Cabernet Malbec blend from Argentina. So, very excited to get into each of these. So, shall we start with the English side?
Let's
and
do
then
it.
I can tell us a little bit about the wine as we get started here. But cheers.
Cheers.
to all.
Definitely very on the tart side.
Quite an English wine. It's very tart.
Yeah.
It's sweet though.
I'm getting some green apple there for sure.
Very green out. Very
Yeah,
Very
sour
pear.
fruits.
I love the bubbles.
There's
Yeah,
a
this
lot of
one.
bubbles.
Yeah, but it's very, very finite bubbles.
Teeny bubbles.
Tiny, tiny bubbles. It's quite pleasant.
Absolutely. This is a mark of a good sparkling wine, specifically the amount of bubbles, is what you tend to look for.
Okay.
Right? So definitely very nice. See, we need to top off your flute already.
Oh, I thought we were downing it all. Are we not?
We can be. We have plenty to go through.
Okay.
So England's wine industry is much younger than some of the other countries that we're going to be tasting today. So it started specifically in the modern era in 1951 with this particular producer,
Wow.
Hambledon in Hampshire. So we're drinking history for England. England is known for their white wines, and specifically kind of in the 1997 is where it started to pivot a lot more towards sparkling wines. So around 76% of all English wine is now sparkling wine.
Wow.
Wow.
So the same chalk seam that runs under Champagne in France continues beneath the English Channel and surfaces again in Sussex and Kent. So it's very similar geography to what is experienced in Champagne. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. So overall, lots of sparkling wines, much more new but up and coming industry in England. So overall, what do you guys think about this?
I think a strong start for the English. I think it's definitely a wine for an occasion. It's not, something that you would have all the time. Like we talked about, the bubbles is probably not the easiest thing to drink a whole bottle of. However, it is a very good wine for, a glass or two.
Yes, it's a magnificent wine. I noticed that the flavors that it has are they don't take too much from your palate. It's very very mild flavors,
Mm-hmm.
so they shine throughout as you are drinking them. It's not so so present like in a red wine.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, as you said, a nice experience that you have to take some time and really go through the different flavors on it.
Absolutely.
The other thing, real quick, is it was super tart to start. Now, after a couple sips, I feel like that tartness has kind of mellowed out a little bit, and as I like drink a couple more sips, it's a little bit less of a shock than the very first thing you have. It was like, whoa, that's sour, and now it's more like, all right, there's a little bit of tartness.
Yeah, I felt it go all the way down in the first sip. I propose a hydration break.
Okay, hydration break number 1.
Hydration break, please. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
So, now that we've had a little bit of hydration, it's time to get back in the match. And Argentina will try and counter with this 2017 red blend. So it's a Cabernet and Malbec blend, some of the more known grapes in Argentina. Shall we give this one a little bit of a smell?
Let's do it.
Wow.
Wow, that's a beautiful smell. That is really, really good.
Scent.
I'm so excited to try this wine.
It's a strong team
Yes,
right here.
yes.
We can tell
Yes.
their preseason matches have gone very well.
Very good contenders. I mean, England should be worried after that first
Sniff.
first sniff that we have.
Yes. They're definitely taking it down the pitch, if you will.
Oh yeah. Shall we go in for the taste? Here
Gentlemen,
comes the corner kick.
corner kick.
Cheers.
Sweetness, number 1. And then a little bit of pepper, getting some spice there, and then some licorice flavor that I'm getting kind of towards the end.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think a little bit of oak as well, maybe as well, and within that pepper, but really nice wine. I think overall the smell was fantastic, and then diving into the taste, also quite good.
Yeah. Good. I don't find any of the flavors too overtaken either. Sometimes there is wine where the liquor just ruins the first sip for you, but all of these flavors were extremely well paced. The defense, the medium center, and the offense, they were all equally divided.
This is really good.
This is a really good wine.
It doesn't taste like any alcohol at all, honestly.
There is a licorice flavor to it, but it's not overtaken. I mean, you will expect that from an alcohol beverage.
Usually a lot of the wines that I get that have a licorice flavor, right, as you said, dominates the palate. But this, very subdued, plays really well across the mouth and really smooth as well. We didn't really talk about the mouthfeel, but lingers beautifully.
Matthew, could you share with us a little bit of the history of Argentinian one?
Absolutely, I'd be more than happy to. So, a little bit more of a rich wine history than with England, I think, as probably all of our viewers at home know as well. But Spanish missionaries brought vines to Argentina in the 1550s, and by the late 16th century, a wine industry was established. The real transformation came in 1853, when the president at the time brought a French ambassador, which brought some cuttings from France, which included the very first Malbec vines. By 1910, 80% of the Argentine vineyards were planted with French stock. And today, Argentina is the world's 5th largest wine producer.
I think I'm going to do a few back and forths and see if I can get my final ranking for both of these.
Yeah, we got to decide the final score. We're going to do a little tasting back to back, and we'll come back to you with our verdict. All right, so final whistle's blown. It's time to tally up the goals. Zach, I'll start with you. Who won your heart this round?
I think for this first round, I'm going to give it to Argentina.
Okay, 1 goal for Argentina. Abraham, what's your verdict?
I find that the English wine is such a special occasion wine, and there is so much complexity to the drink that at this moment I will give the goal to Argentina. as well.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
And I also vote for Argentina. Argentina wins 3-0 in this first semifinal match.
Moving on to the next.
Cheers.
Ancora Messi.
Ancora Messi. Ancora Messi.
Time for our second semifinal match. We have two heavy hitters. We have Spain versus France. And I'm very excited to get into this one. We have Spain on our right. They're going to take it away first.
All right. Let's get in on the smell.
Indeed. Ooh.
Ooh, very interesting flavors.
I am representing Spain today, and I brought one of my favorite Spanish wines, a Juan Monastrell.
This is a 2022, it looks like.
It is, yes. Not super old. Definitely on the younger side, but still very nice.
It smells so sweet.
Yeah, there's definitely notes of vanilla there. I'm getting some cherry as well. A little bit of licorice, but overall, really, really nice smell.
Shall we give it a taste?
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen. Cheers.
Incredibly fruity.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a tropical fruit. I was gonna say like guava at first, but definitely not very not very grapey. Like it's very fruity, I think, but not necessarily like I'm getting like tropical notes for sure.
That's very interesting. I definitely am getting the grape, a little bit of sourness, right? Kind of as you ride after the kind of berry storm, as I like to call it. But overall, really nice feeling. Abraham, what do you think of this one?
I agree with Zach. It's a very fresh wine. It's
Fresh
not
is
a
a good
dark
word.
tone wine. This is more on the bright side of flavors. I do notice that it's very licorice heavy on the aftertaste, but I really enjoy how light for a red this wine is.
That Monastrell grape has a little bit of flavor, depth of flavor, especially when aged. This is a little bit of a younger one. We're drinking it a little fresh, but overall, good wine.
Amazing wine.
Very good wine.
What an amazing contender.
Spain.
Spain is
coming
strong
out
on the offensive.
swinging.
Yes,
They're
yes,
coming out
yes.
swinging.
Extremely good representation of the royalty,
Mm.
in my opinion.
Matthew, could you tell us now a little bit about the Spanish team?
Absolutely. Spain has one of the deepest histories with wine out of any country they were dealing with today. Also very close with France. But so the Phoenician introduced vines to Alicante around 600 BCE, making one of the oldest wine producing sites on the Iberian Peninsula.
Abraham, do you want to tell us a little bit about your time in Alicante?
Yeah, I lived in Alicante for about a year. Wonderful place, very near the ocean, and it used to be a defense coast of Spain. So there's a lot of old military setups.
Which makes
Great
sense
time.
for the wine. They're like,
We need to-
We
need
gotta
to
protect
stay
We gotta protect this wine. Absolutely. By the 16th century, Alicante wine was so prized that the barrels accompanied Magellan and Elcano on their first circumnavigation of the globe in 1522.
Wow, that's crazy.
So the Monastrell grape is a grape born in adversity. Specifically in Alicante, the roots drive 7+ meters down to find any sort of water.
That's a lot of meters.
It is. That is much deeper than a lot of grapes. The grapes grow compact and dense, developing extraordinary richness. The result, deep violet wine with intense dark fruit, powerful tannins, smoked earth, and Mediterranean herbs. So overall, I think we're getting a lot of that in this wine today.
Yeah.
This is a good one. It's a very strong start
Yes,
for the Spanish.
I agree.
Okay, so as we know, the French have a very strong team this year. They have
an incredible offense.
they
team
have an incredible
with Mbappe.
offense. That's right.
All right, let's take a little bit of a smell for this French offering.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a left bank Bordeaux.
Wow.
I think the smell is good, but I think it's not as strong actually as the Spanish one.
Yeah, it's not. These were both produced in 2022, so
Nice even playing field, so
Even-
to speak.
even playing field.
There is a particular smell that I'm not able to distinguish what it is, but it almost like a cinnamon aroma. I don't know if you guys
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a like a spice kind of.
like a spice.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you say that, actually,
Yeah,
that's
it's
all I
really,
can
really,
smell.
yeah, it's really present.
Shall we go for the taste?
Gentlemen,
Cheers. I'm not getting as much with this one. I'm getting some oak. Definitely very smooth, which is characteristic of the Left Bank Bordeaux. But there's not a whole lot of flavor or spice that we were getting with some of the others. Maybe, I mean, this is definitely a little young to be drinking this. These wines are known to be able to age for quite a while, but overall, not getting a ton.
I think this one has much more of a sour aftertaste than the other one. I think the other one was more of a fresh and fruity.
Abraham, what about you?
my experience with this one is that it's a very short flavor presence in comparison to the Spanish. In the Spanish, you get almost like a multiple layers of flavor, and with this French wine, you get this presentation and then it dies. It's not a wine that it lingers in the palate for a long time, and I'm a little bit disappointed on that because the flavor is quite enjoyable, but there is no depthness into that flavor. It's just presentation and then it's flat. Comparing just these two great wines, as you were saying, the Spanish offers more on the offense, middle field, and defense, and of course the French only on the offense. Matthew, would you mind telling us a little bit about the French history?
Absolutely. I've prepared a little bit of the depth chart on the French and happy to go a little bit into detail here. So what we're drinking here is a Left Bank Bordeaux. And Bordeaux has been a promising wine, producing wine since Roman times. But its global reputation was cemented in 1855 when Napoleon III commissioned an official classification of the region's finest chateau for the Paris World's Fair. That list, ranking Medoc estates from the first growth to the fifth, still defines the world's perception of prestige wine today. Left Bank is Cabernet Sauvignon dominated, typically 60 to 85% of the blend, with some Merlot or Cabernet Franc, and occasionally some Malbec in there too. So what we're tasting predominantly is Cabernet Sauvignon with some other grapes mixed in here as well. So the Left Bank in particular, there's lots of gravel deposits, and then the gravel drains water rapidly, forcing vines to go 20 plus feet deep. So,
Wow.
Quite
We were talking 7
7+ meters,
which is
right?
Oh,
So
over 25 feet.
25 feet.
So we're getting the same level of development, but for different reasons, right?
Wow.
Stress vines produce smaller, more concentrated berries. The gravel absorbs solar heat and radiates it back at night, helping Cabernet Sauvignon fully mature in Bordeaux's maritime climate. A lot of people tend to gravitate towards left or right bank, but in general, left bank tends to be a little bit smoother than some of our other Cabernet Sauvignons, softened by some of the other blends that we have in here. So that's it for the French team.
I can see how this wine can be used if you are going to be tasting multiple cheese or different type of food in which you don't want the wine to be too overwhelming with the different variety of food. So I can see a special application. I can see why the flavor has to end quickly so that you can continue with your addition of other flavors that you might be exploring with. So I love that about the French Chateau.
It's made to pair with other flavors.
You have to pair it
You have to pair.
because this one is just so short impact.
It's also very elegant as well, right? So very smooth, as you said. It's not stepping on any toes or anything like that. Very refined. So, okay, I think we'll take this into advisement and come back very shortly. So, are we ready to give our final verdict?
I think we're ready.
Okay. So, Abraham, I'll start with you this time.
Absolutely. I think it's such a difficult competition because of the quality of the wine that has been presented today. These two wines are just unbelievable. That said, the Spanish wine has just so much to offer. It's just fresh. There's multiple layers of flavor. It's a wine that I already took a picture of it. It's just such a fantastic wine in comparison to the French wine. At this time, it left me wanting for more. I was expecting a little bit more on the aftertaste of the wine, and unfortunately, it was not there at this time. My decision is the Spanish wine is the contender.
1 goal for the Spanish. Zach, to you.
In my opinion, I think it was no contest. I think I actually did not particularly enjoy the French wine. I think it was very sour. The flavor notes were incredibly on the high end, and that's all I could taste. Someone maybe more experienced could have tasted a little bit more, but this one was a very easy wine to taste. Number one, it washes over you, and then you get a ton of sweetness, a lot of fruits, and then it just like continues throughout your palate.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I was disappointed with the French performance, and I'm gonna say the Spanish wine 100% is gonna rock it through with my vote.
2nd goal for Spain, and a 3rd one. I agree with Zach. I was disappointed with the French wine. It was very soft. Could have used a little bit more time, maybe, but still, for what we were given here, was not impressed. And the Spanish wine, although I said it was one of my favorites, it continued to surprise and offer a lot more than the French. So, España.
España, vamos, España.
Vamos, tío.
Salud, salud.
All right, we're going to come back with our 3rd place match coming up right now. Welcome to the 3rd place match. We have England versus France. The last semifinal matches were unanimous against these two, but how do they pit against each other? Let's find out. I'm going to start again with the English.
Let's do it.
I think I have to have a refresher on the English wine.
It's been a little while.
Lots of bubbles. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but very teeny tiny bubbles, and a lot of them. So that's very nice to see as we go in for the taste.
Beautiful.
That's good.
That wine is fantastic.
It's almost like a little soda, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like
It's
There's
little
hardly-
pick me up.
there's hardly any alcohol. It's that you can taste at least.
Comparing it to the others, it's definitely difficult, right? When we're comparing some really deep red wines to, sparkling white wine, it's difficult to do. But I think it's a nice, refreshing appeal to our palates. Let's go into our French comparison.
I love this comparison because there is definitely a winner between the two. Whenever we had the first round of this, it was difficult. It was, I don't know, this both drinks have a complexity. But now you can see in this 3rd place, there's a clear winner. And the reason being just the experience on the flavor. There is one wine that is just so lacking on flavor. Unfortunately, there is an underwhelming experience for me, and that will be the French wine. So my vote is gonna go to the English wine at this time. It's just so superior. The flavor, the experience. It reminds me of an apple cider almost, but with a refined, elegant apple cider. It's just such a good drink.
Zach, to you.
I'm also going to go with the English wine on this one. I think it was a very nice flavor. I think even in the differences between a red and a white, I think this one just completely blows out of the water. I think the French wine was very underwhelming.
I'm going to send the English through. Third place.
Third place goes to the
solidified.
English.
Good selection.
Good play all around from both wines, but the English win third place, the French in fourth. Surprisingly.
Surprisingly,
Wow.
yeah.
Now on to the finals.
Yeah.
Let's get into the final. Time for the final. We have Argentina versus Spain. Two heavy hitters that we have here. Time to decide who wins. Let's go ahead and get into it.
I have to say, this is the best smelling wine I think I've ever experienced.
Mm-hmm. I'm very happy to do that.
I just think the combination of the flavors is just fantastic. It's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
The Argentinian wine here is a very strong start. I fell in love with the Spanish wine whenever I tasted it, but going back to the Argentinian wine, I remembered how much I liked it. That's going to be a difficult wine to beat. That's a very strong start.
I think this is a mature wine. This is a wine that understands what they want to give their audience.
Mm.
They have concentrated all of the flavors into a form that nothing explodes,
Mm.
and it's not lacking any flavor. If you want freshness, is there. If you want sour, is there. If you want licorice, is there. But everything is very on the lower undertone. That is such a delicious wine.
That's a good point because
It's really good.
there's a lot of wines that kind of pop and then kind of come down and then they swell. This one is very much like steady throughout, but then you can pull out the scents and the flavors. I think it's time for our final hydration break.
With your eye on the prize,
Cheers, gentlemen, for the final.
now it's Spain's turn to shine. Let's go ahead and put it against this Argentinian classic. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. That is such a difficult final match for two wines. This is incredibly difficult.
Two incredible contenders here. I'm going to have a hard time. I know that we've said 3-0 versus all the others. I have a hard time believing that's going to be 3-0 against one of these wines here.
It's just the experience between the Argentinian wine against the Spanish wine. They offer so much, both of them.
Totally.
With the Argentinian, you have a perfect balance of flavor, and then with the Spanish wine, you have this flavor wave that breaks down into multiple layers.
I'm gonna go ahead and go back and forth a few times and see which one really shines for me, and it's gonna be a tough call.
After careful consideration, Abraham, tell us your thoughts.
I think the Argentinian wine has a beautiful presentation, as I have been saying from the beginning, in all fronts. They have the most balanced wine that I have ever experienced, which is phenomenal. But the Spanish team presents an idea. They are not trying to shy away from their flavor combination, and for that, I think the Spanish thing is superior.
1 goal to Spain. Wow. Zach, to you.
After much deliberation, I think the points that Abraham has made are incredibly valid. I think these two wines before us, they're incredibly evenly matched in terms of quality. I think both of them really represent the countries that they're from in ways that if you were to get introduced to wine, these both have a lot to offer. I'm going to say that for me, the Argentinian wine just slightly squeaks ahead. Only in that it's a little bit more versatile.
Unbelievable.
I understand.
Unbelievable.
I think they're both phenomenal. I really like the Spanish wine. I think it's one of the best wines I've had to date. I think the Argentinian wine, for me, it's less about the boldness of the flavor, but more about I can see myself drinking this wine in almost any circumstance. And this one, the flavors are just so robust, and that I could see them pairing so well with so many different things. So in a very close match, I think they're just slightly ahead, and I'm going to have to barely give it to the Argentinian wine.
I understand. And I think the decision for the winner should come to the hands of the expert, the one and only Matthew with the Wine Labs.
We've had 4 phenomenal wines here today, and these 2 stand apart from the crowd. These are 2 of the best wines I've ever had, and I have to give it to Spain.
Yes, baby! Woo!
Simply because of the flavors that they present on every level. While I loved the Argentinian wine here, Spain will win 2-1. Well played for both teams here.
Excellent match. Excellent match.
And I thought it's the best time to reveal the prices between the 4 different wines.
Wow.
The winner, Juan, $13.99.
No way. What? Wow.
Great wine.
$13.99. So for the Argentinian one, we have $18.99.
Really?
Wow. Matthew, what? I could not believe that. That is a fantastic wine.
That's one of the best wines I've ever had.
That is for $18. Fantastic.
That's a 2017, and it was $18.
The receipts,
Wow,
$19 for that wine.
that's a
That's-
phenomenal $18
that's great.
wine.
The 2 wines that made it to our finals, under $20. So, England, $50
Wow.
for the sparkling white wine that we had.
Incredible.
That was a great wine. It was a specialty wine, but it was double the price.
double the price.
So, France, I paid $35 for that bottle.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
it goes without saying that price does not constitute quality. So, to recap, France in 4th, England in 3rd, Argentina in 2nd, and at number 1, Spain.
Well done. Well done, Spain.
I'm so glad to have both of you on the episode here.
Thank you for having us, and this was such a wonderful experience.
Can't wait for the next one. And for the next few matches in the World Cup, we have a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely. We'll see if the football teams will be able to perform as well as these wines have. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.